What up everybody, long time no see. Got a haircut, did it myself. Anyway, here we are, back in the Mustang. Except now we gotta go underneath the Mustang so we can take out the drive shaft. That's the goal of right now. As you can see, it's pretty wet outside, and carport sorta has a couple leaks every now and then when it rains really hard. So yeah, we've been trying to stay dry this week. It's been raining every single day. So because I'm kind of a wider gentleman, I had to use the jack, put the car up a little bit higher and raise the jack stand. Now we should be able to get to the bolts. I'm not sure how many there are yet, 4 or 5 around the face of the rear of the drive shaft where it connects to the differential, but that's what we got to remove next. 20 minutes later, no progress. So I need something like a cheater pipe because all the bolts are torqued down past what I can lift or what I can break. So I have to resort to this. It may be from the 50s, but it still works pretty good. I gave up. I don't have the right tools. So fast forward a day or two after I rage quit from before and snagged the camera on something. Anyway, we're gonna get the drive shaft out today. Because of the kind words that I see from you guys on the YouTube comment section, I'm going to take out that drive shaft at least today. We need to get it done. So the problem from before, and I'm not sure how much was still recorded from before, I'll find it in editing. The problem was that I don't have the man strength to just turn the wrench that's holding on the bolts to the rear of the drive shaft to the differential. So after 2 minutes of looking online on YouTube, I found a very nice video that made me realize I was being a complete idiot about it, and that you need to think smarter and not harder. So let me show you the trick that now saved me. Plus, I'm going to try and complete today's task of removing the drive shaft without actually sweating. And it's currently 89 degrees and 79% humidity. You know what that feels like? It feels like a sauna. Here are the 2 tools we're going to need for today. A 12mm box end wrench, it's the 12-point box end, and also a large jack. Now let me show you how this works. So for removing the drive shaft, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your emergency brake is down. That way it's not engaged. With the car up on some moderately safe jack stands, you need to then look at the rear of the drive shaft. As you can see, there is a bolt, but it's not really accessible. So what you need to do is turn the wheel until the bolt does become accessible. So let's say that one right there. Next, put your open-end box wrench on the end of the bolt head. Come back up into the car and reset the emergency brake. Ugh. Make sure to set it nice and tight. Next up, slide your jack so that it's going to be pressing up on the wrench. We missed it. To get this orientation right, it may take you a few tries. But then gently use your jack to lift the wrench. That way you don't have to do all the work. There. I think it just broke loose. Yep, we should be loose now. Let's see if it is. Yep, we're loose. Okay, let's take this bolt all the way out and then repeat the process for the other 3 that are left in there. Or 2. I already took 1 out. Yeah, that one. I've never done this many sit-ups since high school. So I'm about to take the last of the bolts out of the rear of the drive shaft. But I know on a 240SX, when you pull that drive shaft, it dumps all the trans fluid right out the back of the transmission. I don't know if this is going to be the same way. And I don't really have anything to catch it in. And I don't know how heavy that drive shaft is going to be when I take it out. So this should be a learning process for both of us. Hopefully it just comes right out, but knowing this show, I doubt it. Okay. I just pulled the last bolt and it didn't fall out, so I'm guessing it needs to either be knocked or there's something else holding it in place. Okay, I got the rear of the drive shaft down, and my fat butt can't fit sideways under the car. Okay. Almost there. Okay. Plan B. Now if I could figure out what plan B is, we'll be all good. I think it needs to pull out a little bit straighter because I'm running right into the back of that jack stand. So I'm gonna put the jack underneath the diff and jack up on that, which should gain me, I don't know, maybe an inch or two. Well, that didn't do much good. Well, that was much better. Lift from the front. Huh. About time, right? You can see the splines inside there. Whew. So yeah, finally got the drive shaft out. Maybe we should take a look underneath to see what else is going to hold us up. So 10 to 15 minutes later, I don't know if you guys have this, but that first fear of crawling underneath a car that you've jacked up, like being completely helpless if it was to fall on you, like dead, done. So that's what I just did. I haven't been fully underneath the car before since then. Anyway, now that that initial trauma is over, I did find this one hose that was going nowhere, so I'll just put that there. And the O2 sensors. So I think my next thing is to actually take off the exhaust manifolds, specifically where the header joins to the downpipe going out the back. Without having the crossover pipe in the middle of the car, it'll make removing everything much easier. I think they call it an H pipe when it crosses over, because it's not an X pipe, it's just a straight tube that goes over. I think on one of the previous episodes of Engine Masters from, is it Motor Trend? They did that episode and that proved to make the most horsepower. And
the H pipe proves to be better at lower RPM, and the X pipe not as better at high RPM.
Anyway, we won't need that anymore. But I'd like to keep the exhaust system as intact as possible for reuse maybe, or maybe somebody else will want it. So I'm going to try and remove the two bolts from the downpipe on both sides, which I know how impossible that sounds, and it would be so much easier just to hacksaw it off, which we might end up doing if it gets stuck. Then removing the headers from the sides of the block. Once those are done, we should be able to get to the motor mounts. I know how short this episode will be, so them's the brakes, sorry. But with this humidity, I'm not gonna die for this car. Okay, thank you so much for watching this episode, $1000 Car Guy. I will see you on the next episode.